All right, a quick good morning from day 20. It's about 4, a little after 4 in the morning. I actually got up about 2 and seriously considered starting at 2. And then I convinced myself, all right, I'm just gonna turn over one more time. And if I don't get back to sleep, I'm going. But I did fall back asleep, so I just need a little extra sleep. But now it's 4. I'm already halfway through a cup of coffee, halfway through getting organized, and hopefully we'll be on the trail right around 5 or so. Wanted to get an early start because it's a big day, and hopefully my feet will cooperate. I've actually moved some like tape for possible blister stuff on the top of my pack, and I'm just gonna have to be really good today about managing my feet and taking breaks and letting them air out, and just monitoring how they're doing. And I think that's really going to be the only thing that's going to possibly prevent me from finishing today. But I wanted to give myself every opportunity to finish and not finish super late, so Sarah's not like waiting late and it becomes a long drive for her, and then if I don't get done till like 6 or 7 or 8, then she's got to drive me all the way back, and then it's like 10:30, 11. So I don't want that. I'd rather be up early and try and get done at a reasonable time if I can get done today. So that's the plan. And we'll probably check in when we have some light. See you later. All right, Friday, June 9th, daybreak, 5 a.m. I'll be hitting the trail right about 5, which is awesome. Camp is packed up, and we're gonna start making our way, I guess, towards Star King first, and then Waumbek, and then go from there. So, second cup of coffee this morning, another treat, a little Starbucks dark roast. So I'm just gonna down this, put on some tunes, and get rolling. We'll see you up on the trail somewhere. All right, day 20 update. We've made it to Mount Star King. We are airing out our feet. They're feeling pretty medium right now, so I don't know if we're gonna be able to finish today, but we'll do another leg. Keep monitoring them and see how it goes. But I'm kind of resigning myself to the situation that I'm probably gonna have another night out here. Hopefully not too much rain. All right, day 20 update. It's around 7:30. We made it to the summit of Mount Waumbek. Not much to see here. I actually popped 2 blisters at Mount Star King and put some tape on them. So they're doing a little better right now, but I'm still dubious if I can do a full 20-mile day today without really tearing up my feet, which I don't want to do. So, all right, we're gonna keep on going and see how we feel as we progress. We still got a long way to go. All right, it's getting close to 8:30. We've been traversing the ridge. We're right around 4,000 feet. Taking another break to air out my feet. Really making sure I stop every hour, hour and a half to air them out, and try and prevent any more blisters. So we're gonna keep moving along. So far the rain has held off, which is nice. Makes a huge difference. So feels like it might start doing something soon, but we'll deal with that when it happens. Gonna have a little something to eat, and we'll check in later. All right, day 20 update. It's approaching noon. from about 9 to 11:30. It just rained on us constantly. That's why no video. When I got to the summit of Mount Weeks, even though it was lightly raining, I actually stopped just to air out my feet. I had packed out my pack this morning so that I could quickly make a cup of coffee. So I did that. And with dripping rain and wet hands, I had 1 bar cell service. So I basically just sent a text message to Sarah saying, delay pickup until tomorrow morning. You know, just with how my feet are feeling and the conditions out here, doing 20 miles in this mess is just not happening for me today. So now that that's kind of been resolved, I do want to get myself set up as closely as possible to hit Cabot in the morning with no pack, and then just and then walk out the backpack. So that's the plan right now. It's stopped raining for a little bit, so drying up a little bit. Having that cup of coffee really helped because it was around 45 degrees on the summit of Meeks, and with that cold rain, when you stop moving, it does make a difference. So you have that conundrum of you want to try and air out your feet, even though they're just going to get wet again, just to help them last longer. But when you stop to air out your feet, you start getting really cold. So for me, the solution was the cup of coffee and a Twix bar, and that worked okay. And right now it's not raining, so that helps as well. So that's the update. We're heading down Weeks, and at some point I think we're going to start climbing up Terrence Mountain. That's all I got right now. Another wet day in the whites. All right, it's noon. No rain for the past half hour. It's been nice. We finally have hit a trail junction. It's been a while. So we're going to head to the Bunnell Notch Trail on the Kilkenny Ridge Trail. 3 miles to get there. And then I'm probably gonna start thinking about setting up camp somewhere. See how my feet are doing. I'm totally fine going for Cabot in the morning, but we'll see. Let's get there first and hope the rain holds off still. It's nice. It's not bad when there's no rain. Still dealing with foot issues, but managing it right now. All right, a little bit of rain falling again, and we're marching on towards the Bunnell Notch Trail, another 2 miles. All right, day 21 update. It's a day of layer adjusting. We finally got a little bit of sun and rain at the same time. So we're at the last high point on the Kilkenny Ridge Trail. We got about a half mile down to the Bunnell Notch Trail, and that is where we will look to set up camp for the night. I know there's water down there. Yeah, I've been hiking for 5 to 2, 7, 8, 9, about 9 hours. So with the condition of my feet and trying to stay on top of it, I don't want to go much further anyway. So another half mile will do. Hope that we have clear skies while we set up base camp, and then we're golden for tomorrow. That's the update for now. Friday, June 9th, day 20. What has become common practice, especially the last week or so, is more rain. I got the tent set up right before the rain really started coming down, but I still hadn't collected any water yet. And I thought there was water nearby. I'm like at the junction of Kilkenny Ridge and Bunnell Notch. So I'm set up to leave after I tag Cabot in the morning. But yeah, water was finding water in all this rain was like, where's the water? I thought I crossed the stream. So I just, at some point, there was plenty of water on the trail. I just found some clean looking puddles and loaded up on water there because the rain was starting to come down more, and I just dried off from like when the sun was out, and now I'm soaking wet again. So boiling some water, having some hot chocolate, gonna organize the usual routine. Yeah, another day of like, I think almost 11 hours of hiking. Obviously we didn't get the miles we wanted to get, but you know, my feet, I really had to manage my feet today and tomorrow. So, you know, I'm not gonna totally wreck them just to be done a day earlier. I can be perfectly comfortable in the tent once it's set up. So that is the initial story of day 20. We got one more peak in. We had lofty goals for 2, but we got 1. We got Waumbek. Woohoo. So we are at 47. The 40s have been very tough, very tough. I mean, the whole thing is tough, but the 40s have really been tough. Curious what the temperature is right now, since I'm seeing a lot of steam. 49 degrees in tent, so a little chillier outside. Definitely unpleasant conditions. And my water is boiling, so we'll be back later once we warm up. Okay, day 20 recap. It's about 5 in the afternoon. I'm getting ready to eat some dinner. So, got Waumbek today, and then had a hike over the range. Didn't see anyone all day until the very end, after I had my tent set up and I went looking for water. I saw one solo female hiker heading back down from Cabot. And that's been it. It has been a week or more of rain. I can't remember last time I went backpacking and had so much rain with little to no sun for days on end. Either clouds or rain. Whew. Yeah. So don't have any cell service here. When I was up on top of one of the Weeks mountains, I did have enough cell service in the rain to let Sarah know not to pick me up today. But now, with the inReach, we just coordinated for tomorrow's pickup. I haven't set an alarm for any of this. I usually get up like at 4:35, but just to be on the safe side, I'm actually going to set an alarm for tomorrow so that I should be on the trail at 5 a.m. And that should give me decent time, depending on what the weather's doing, to go tag Cabot, come back, and then hike the 3 miles out with the backpack. So I'm looking forward to seeing Sarah and to seeing some sun down south and some food. The food I've been eating has been good, but ready for some other food. Ready to go out to breakfast. But yeah, I think like I mentioned the last time, these last 2 kind of Waumbek and Cabot are a little anticlimactic for me. They just don't feel as connected to the rest of the 46, but that's, if you're going to do a Direttissima, you got to do all of them. And I think part of it too is just that I kind of had hope maybe I could somehow manage to finish today. And about halfway through the day, I realized that wasn't going to happen. So one more night out here in the tent in the rain. And again, if there was a little more sun, um, yeah, it would be a more enjoyable experience. Um, this has definitely been a different experience than last year's, um, which I mean, yeah, I hope they're all different, but I think I'm going to remember this one as just way too much rain and not enough sun. Um, and glad I stuck it out. Um, yeah, there was definitely, I think the greatest temptation was the day I started at the Osgood tent site and went up and over Madison and just terrible weather, and got down to the hut and basically chilled at the hut for 3-4 hours, I don't, maybe even longer. I was very tempted to book a reserve just to stay there, to pay the whatever $200 and just hang there for the night. I'm glad I didn't, but man, that temptation was really great. The dinner menu looked phenomenal. There was some kind of pork dish. Yeah, so it was very tempting, and I knew it wouldn't be crowded because of the weather. And I think only when I went there the next morning, there were only 8 people total who had stayed that night. So I don't think I could honestly say I was like tempted to call Sarah and say, I've had enough of this. It's more of the same. I can't get any sun. It never got that bad. Um, and then yesterday, I'm getting over Adams and Jefferson, which was great. But then the rain started coming down Jefferson, which was not great. And then the road walk, I just couldn't get my feet aired out enough to make a difference, where developed a couple blisters like at the balls of my feet, near my toes, and just really soggy feet at the end of the day, which is not great. And because of the rain today, I did a much better job today of managing and airing them out, which helped. They were still soggy at the end of the day, but I don't feel like they were as bad. And I'm still dealing with the remnants of the blisters, like one on each foot I have. So yeah, it's only like a 6-mile day tomorrow total, which is good. And the trip up and back to Cabot, I'm not planning on taking the backpack, so it'll be a light load, light on the feet, and that'll be good. I'm curious to see if anyone stayed at the cabin tonight. I mean, I imagine there's some folks up there, so we'll see. I think that's about it for day 20. I'm going to eat. I'm going to lay down and hope there's no rain in the morning when I want to get going. But if there is, there is. Knowing that I won't have to set up a tent tomorrow night, I don't have to be as cautious about how wet I get, because I know I'll be in a warm car at the end of it all. I mean, the temperatures haven't been like terrible, but right now in the tent, right now in the tent it's 51. But like when I was up there on Mount Weeks today in the rain, it was like in the low 40s, and perfect hypothermic conditions. Luckily, no wind, which was a huge help. So yeah, I just feel like I've been like managing that for the past week or so, just making sure I don't get saturated, or I'm warm enough to get camp set up and get in the tent. and like not bringing sopping wet clothes in, in my sleeping bag, that kind of stuff. There's been no break from it. So everything's wet, but we're managing, and we're glad we're not going to be in a wet tent tomorrow night. That is for sure. So yeah, I'm about ready to dig into some. It's my new favorite thing are these instant mashed potatoes. I never really did this with the potatoes until this year. I started playing around with it. Put some bacon jerky in there. They're very filling, very yummy. And they're very tasty because, I mean, how often do you have mashed potatoes? Hardly, like a Thanksgiving, and that might be it. So who doesn't love mashed potatoes? Oh, I think I even have a salt and pepper packet somewhere I have to dig out. Okay, I got important things to do. We'll see you tomorrow, Saturday, for hopefully the end of this wild Direttissima for day 21. I think we probably could have done it in about 19 days if we had a little cooperation with the weather. But 21 is still, I'm very happy with that. It took me 25 days last year, and I was thinking I could probably shave some time off, and I did, and still made smart decisions with weather. So we'll see you in the morning at 4:30 or so. Oh, you might not see me then, but that's when I'll be waking up and getting ready to roll out.